Hello, my dear students, friends, learners, and professionals. Welcome to Billion Hopes AI. This is your mentor, Sandy, bringing you AI for real impact. Today, we are going to discuss a topic with real impact. What should an ideal design of LLMs be? This question has been asked repeatedly by those who support the current architectures and those who have serious questions about the whole game being played. Many naysayers have always been saying that deep learning is not going to be the route forward to general intelligence at all. And so this cuts to the core of entire AI debate on which trillions are being wagered right now. So I think this is going to be one hell of a topic for you to stay engaged with. So be with me till the end. Since you're here, I request you please subscribe to the Billion Hopes AI channel. LLM design may need a relook. Why exactly? Whether we should continue with the current model, huge LLM, tens of thousands of neurons, very, very simple design, or small LLMs of very deep parts. So why exactly has this entire debate come up? Because a new research paper, like many of its predecessors, is talking about the branching dendrite secret. It's a remarkable thing. This is the reference paper. Researchers argue that a single human cortical neuron, this portion is the neocortex, you have the cortical neurons here. The logic now is that a single neuron here is actually not just one neuron, not just one dummy switch. It is a sophisticated computing device with tremendous depth compared to a multi-layered ANN. It is not just one neuron. It has very deep connections with thousands and thousands of other neurons, making it comparable, a single cortical neuron, to a regular ANN. May not be an artificial neural network that runs chat or GPT 5.6, no, but a regular LLM. And if a single cortical neuron can do that, are we going fundamentally wrong in chasing this route for building LLMs? Now, this question is so profound because if this design changes, not only perhaps will the route to AGI open up, but the energy consumption may drastically go down. It's an architectural simplification. With the current architecture, there's no way the energy consumption is reducing. Yes, with better architectures on the semiconductors, better algorithms, a few percentage points here and there will happen. But this is like the most fundamental change. This thing here, just 20 watts, 20 joules per second, and the LLMs consuming a planet's worth of electricity. Before we move on, it would be great if you may just check out the membership levels on our channel. If you press the join button, you will find 5 levels. We'll be extremely happy to have you with us on our channel. Thank you so much for considering it. Let me simplify the whole thing first. The branching dendrite secret. I hope I was clear so far. Your comments are very precious. Go ahead and write. A single human cortical neuron may be far more than just an on-off switch. The new study, this study, actually says that every single neuron is a deep computing unit because of the rich dendritic branching and synaptic non-linearities. Now, no need to get scared. Just understand that it's a mini LLM. Every single cortical neuron. Old theory, intelligence is scale and connections. The bigger is the LLM, the more intelligent it will be. But then we couldn't create AGI at all, and LLM still end up making severe mistakes, like Sol is actually deleting entire production databases past 24-48 hours of feedback from many users. So, well, that's not intelligence, right? Now the new clue is individual neurons may actually be microchips. An ANN twin imitates the neuron, more layers, more complexity. This is our current model. But perhaps we should rethink this entire model, and today's LLMs, which are huge networks made from very simple parts, could be redesigned in the future to be small networks of very intelligent, internally deep parts, which is not the case today if you have studied how the ANNs are made. So this is a profound paradigm level question. So today's LLMs are built from tens of thousands of very simple mathematical units that we call artificial neurons. And the power of a deep learning network comes from the fact that it's a very big network. And so when data is passed, an internet worth of data and millions of books, they learn the patterns and the parameters are learned. And we say, wow, great. But then ultimately the whole thing is very energy inefficient and it is in any way not creating general intelligence at all. Future LLMs may be bigger, may not be, but the real thing is making each artificial neuron much smarter, as we just saw. So instead of using billions of neurons, use fewer but more richly connected one. This is what the research is all about, the branching dendrite secret, and this is the branching dendrite. So if the scale only theory of intelligence is fundamentally challenged, then it means that human cognition is not just about neuron count. A typical adult male brain will have 86 billion neurons. That's a very well established figure. So it's not just about making 86 billion neurons, but on the internal computational depth of each building block. And that is what makes such higher level abstractions possible. So this particular research paper talks about the brain as a network made up of networks. Each cortical neuron is a network. So far, the LLM makers are talking about scale, but Jeffrey and people like Jan LeCun and Jeffrey Hinton, big names, in a real sense, the grandfathers of the modern AI world, they've always mocked the idea that anything other than scale is required. But people are questioning the whole thing now. Richard Sutton, the great grandfather of reinforcement learning, has very recently said that scale is not the solution. That's a very big thing. So what is the solution? Depth is the solution. Scale alone is not the solution. Human intelligence, because we have nearly 100 billion, actually 86. Hence we are so intelligent and hence we have intelligence. But now the answer is, it's about the depth of individual cortical neuron and not the overall size. So the single cell complexity as it emerges, Mother Nature, over millions and millions of years, builds stuff that we are unable to grasp. We are only slowly realizing as nature slowly reveals her secrets. But biology cannot be beaten by silicon. So far, everyone agrees on that one simple fact. So what is the twin test functional complexity index? Biological neuron input leading to output. So you create an ANN twin. You try to create an ANN twin of it, like we have a digital twin in factories. It learns to reproduce this complexity. Suddenly, far more number of layers is needed. And that is where functional complexity index comes into picture. The harder it is for an artificial network to imitate a single neuron's input-output behavior, the more computationally powerful that single neuron is judged to be. So in this twin exercise, the researchers found that the single cortical neurons are extremely powerful because the kind of ANNs needed were large for just a single neuron. Got it? So the dendritic tree is the name of the game. And it is not just a decorative Christmas tree. No, not at all. It is actually computation. Very richly branching. So human cortical neurons have very, very dense branching of dendritic trees. So as the years pass and as researchers get a more micro look, nano level look at these structures, they are amazed. They are amazed to see what has biologically happened via a process of evolution. So this entire paper and the article point to distinctive membrane electrical properties, because ultimately it is electrical chemical structure, the whole brain, right? And there are many synaptic nonlinearities. So that's too technical. Let's move forward. One cell and surprisingly advanced discrimination. Single cell pattern recognition. So these are very, very shocking things. And it was found in this research. Of course, every research can be questioned. Every research can be countered. But this particular research and this research paper has led many people to start thinking differently. A single cell pattern recognition. Very complex visual input like a cat image. So that's a very, very complicated image, right? So the brain breaks it up. Just like a computer vision system will break it up into pixels, the brain breaks it up into various structures to absorb it. And with a single human cortical neuron, distinct internal processing mechanisms and discriminative outputs were found, which is actually shocking. The same neuron able to do this and discriminately do this. So how is this even possible? That was the question being raised. If you compare a human cortical neuron with a rat cortical neuron, because that's a very, very good experiment. Because even rat have cortices. So if we pick our cortical neuron and compare it with a rat's cortical neuron, we can immediately see whether ours is better or ours are better or not. Cortical pyramidal neurons in humans and in rats were compared. So this is the human cortical neuron. Look at the branching density. And this is a poor rat's cortical neuron. Look at the branching density. So we can very clearly see that the kind of complexity we are finding here, which is the functional complexity index FCI for humans, is literally an order of magnitude different, right? So this helps us understand that how things are actually working. So such across or rather cross species comparisons can help us understand whether the road we have taken in designing LLMs is actually the road we should have taken. And why does this matter at all? The consequences, cognition and a new AI template. So this is the multi-$100 billion question. For human cognition, these findings are pointing in two directions: a revised picture of human cognition and a new template for brain-inspired AI. Many people like Gary Marcus and all for decades have been saying this, that just scaling of LLMs and Gen AI systems is not going to lead to true intelligence. You need symbolic AI plus the scale-based LLMs, a merger to create the hybrid AI to lead to some measure of real intelligence. And Gary Marcus has been trolled heavily by all these giants, including Jan LeCun and Jeffrey Hinton. But now everyone seems to come to this point, what Gary's original point was, and many others. So for human cognition, if we understand that this is how, the findings offer a possible step towards explaining how human cortical cells contribute to language, imagination, maths, invention, thought, learning, cognition, which clearly the poor rats were not able to do. So that's just an evolutionary roll of dice which went against them. For the brain's capacity, if neurons are deeper processors than assumed, then current estimates of brain's computational power are actually vastly understated. And that is why mere scaling of LLMs will never ever create AGI. So for AI design, our highly simplified mathematical neurons are not the right way out. A brain-inspired alternative is needed. Every unit in the LLM ANN has to be very dense and richly connected. It's a network of networks, not just a network of simple units. I hope you enjoyed this very simple insight into a very complex topic. Your comments matter a lot to us. Please do comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and do check out the join button, multiple levels of membership. It will be great if you can join us. Thank you so much. This is the summary where we started. Perhaps it's time to go back to the drawing board and rethink the entire LLM design. You know what scares me here a lot is that if all this is indeed true, then LLM scaling is not taking us to intelligence and definitely not to AGI at all. And if that is true, then in another year, we should perhaps be looking at a true unraveling of the AI investments happening. And if that were to ever happen, you know the consequences. It will be an order of magnitude worse than 2008. Let's hope it never happens. Thank you so much for being a patient listener. We have a wonderful course, AI Turbocharger, a full day AI learning program. If you are yet to take your first serious step in AI learning, this Saturday, I have this from 8 a.m. The link for enrollment is given in the comment. Check it out, join us, it would be great. Thank you so much. LLM design may need a relook. I hope you enjoyed it. See you soon. This is the mentor Sandy bringing you AI for real impact. Thank you.